from qualifying, and it is Jada who'll start from pole. Ryan Schull to start from second place, and it is a great start there for the 31 of Jaden Ojeda. He's had it all weekend so far, and this being no exception. Ryan Sewell into second place. Cameron Shields dropping back a spot. I think that was Aaron Love that jumped into third place off the start. And these guys will start. That's the reason why. Cameron Shields has pulled right off to the track.
Yes, Cameron doesn't look to have too much motivation underneath the right foot at the moment, so not sure what happened there. Didn't pick that up off the start line, but the field is, other than Cam, safely all the way through to turn 3 as we speak, and it's Jaden Ojeda leading over Ryan Sewell and Aaron Love. Have a look at Sewell now, try to look down the outside in the Ray White real estate car. There's the Rising Star program emblazoned over the engine cowling of a number of these drivers involved with the Rising Star program.
Great move by Ryan Sewell, gets up the inside and takes the lead down the back of the track as they make their way through Siberia and up through the hay shed. Aaron Love now putting the pressure on to Jaden Ojeda as well. Ryan Sewell, the only one of all drivers in that second race that was able to transfer his tyres from left to right to try and give himself a better opportunity. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out for him. The car just didn't work how they wanted it to. So any advantage that he may have had in race 2 just wasn't there in the end. So all drivers pretty much on similar tyres in this final race.
So Cameron Shields is actually out of his car and walking back to the pits now. So it's parked up out of view from where we are, but it's down on the main straight. We'll see it parked up as these cars go past. There it is up against the guardrail off the MotoGP pit exit there. So
he's taking no further part. Leader.
Yeah, it is. It's been a bit of a tough weekend for Cam. He came in here, was fastest in the practices on Friday, and looked to be the class of the field. And he certainly has been. We're not taking anything away from him. But every now and again, when you're doing as much racing as what Cameron is doing at the moment, there's going to be some swings and roundabouts. And every now and again, you have to get off the swings and get on the roundabouts, don't you?
Yep. Before this race, after round 1, which of course was down in Simmons Plains at Tasmania a few weeks ago, Cameron Shields had a 7-point lead over Ryan Sewell in the championship. Ryan, at the moment, if he stays in front, will pick up 13 points over Cameron in this round and will take the lead in the championship by 6 points. So at the end of this race, we could have a new championship leader in the Cam's Pace Australian Formula 4 Championship.
Interesting times indeed. Certainly looking at these cars now, beautiful conditions locally here at Phillip Island now for inducing great open wheeler racing. Just seeing the leader there, Ryan Sewell, putting his wheels right out over the painted ripple strip there. If there's any dampness around it all, you don't want to do that. That will send you absolutely right off into the grass through there. You'll lose all traction. So magnificent conditions here locally. It's a bit of a crisp, cool day, but the sun is out. And there's even some people in pit lane now with some shorts on, but I get the feeling that they might do that any day of the year.
Queenslanders.
Certainly really strong sunshine as they crest turn 12 and run down this magnificent scenic straight. All the guys continuing onto the left-hand side, drivers left of the track, which is unusual. Certainly a Formula V type line. They'll do that to try and shake any draft, but these cars running along the pit wall there. We'll have to talk to some of the teams and just get an idea as to why they're pulling straight over out of turn 12 and running down that wall.
Here's a good battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th. Aaron Love in front, Jackson Walls and then Lockie Hughes in 5th place. Jackson Walls, unfortunately for him, just got 2 wheels on the grass in the last race, and as he went to turn off, the grass just grabbed the car and just threw him into that kitty litter. So unfortunate for him that he wasn't able to finish the race, but it was just one of those little learn and move on type things, and at the moment he finds himself in 4th place, which is a fantastic effort for this guy in only his 2nd Formula 4 race, of course racing for Patrizzi Course.
The Morris Finance leaderboard at the moment for Ryan Sewell in car number 5 got a compact lead of 0.6 of a second. Jaden Ojeda in the 31, Aaron Love in the 78, 1.6 back from there. Jackson Walls in the number 11, 4th. And here is the field streaming through MG Corner. It's a big climb out and around the top of 12, flat, held absolutely to the floor in these cars all the way around, all the way down the straight now. Just pegging the gears. There we go again, running straight down the pit lane wall. The only categories we're seeing do that. The crew running in the second pack, Love and Walls running a more of a traditional line, a gradual move across the track.
Jada up the inside of Ryan Sewell. We'll keep him on the outside heading into turn 2, but he's got enough power to maybe hold on to it. He has. And Jada, possibly, may, yes he does, takes the lead back in lap number 3.
Guys, have microphone, have camera, will travel. And Cameron Shields, mate, what happened?
Such a shame, coming onto the straight and did my final burnout to warm my tyres up and the drive shaft broke. So pulled up to the grid and straight away I knew what was going to happen, and unfortunately we couldn't make it back to the pits. So hopefully we can still be leading the championship after this race if Ryan has a poor race, but I just looked down and he's in the lead, so not good for us, but hopefully we can move on now and sort things out.
All right, hard luck, mate.
Yeah, thank you very much.
From one Cameron to another there, a bit of a hard luck story down there for Cam Shields. He will fight on. He's probably racing in Formula 4 next weekend somewhere around the country, and he will fight on for the rest of Formula 4. You've got to put those disappointments behind you early on these days, and don't worry about it, Cameron Shields. A champion of the future called Max Verstappen has had some pretty bad luck of recent times, so chin up, son. You'll be right. You've certainly got the talent with the hands and feet. We'll see the McDonald's entry back bigger and better again.
No doubt about that. And Richard mentioning that the next round for the GT3 Cup Challenge is at Queensland Raceway. It also is for the Formula 4s, but not on the Shannons round. It's the week before on the Supercar round. So these guys heading up to Queensland also for their next run. As we look at the leaderboard, and it is Jada on our Morris Finance leaderboard, leading by 0.8 of a second now. Fastest lap to his name on the previous lap. Ryan Sewell in second place. Jackson Walls has moved into third. A great move by him and some great driving. All the boys down there at Patrizia Course will be absolutely rapt to see if this guy can finish in the top 3 in this race. Aaron Love in 4th. Lockie Hughes leading the rookies in 5th place. Leading our rookie championship, I should say, in 5th place. Zide Tones also really battling for that position as well. He's in 6th. Josh Smith and Thomas Smith rounding up 7 and 8 in this race. And then Artie Jonick down into 9th. Antonio Studi in 10th. And Cameron Shields will have a DNF next to his name for this race.
Just off the back of the Morris Finance leaderboard there. Big thanks to Nathan Murray and the crew at Morris Finance jumping on board with the Shannons Nationals for 2018 and beyond, and I hope they enjoy the journey and certainly the racing that the Shannons Nationals, many and varied categories. Of course, this is the CAMS Pace Australian Formula 4 Championship on track at the moment, but fantastic to have Morris Finance on board with the Shannons Nationals.
Proud sponsors of our Drivers Club up on top of pit lane, and all the drivers have just got back, and the mums and dads have been able to go and have a coffee and soft drink or whatever it might be. So,
what about ex-drivers? Do we get a show in there?
I don't know. We'll see what we can organise.
I'll get a texter out and put ex-drivers in front of it or something.
We'll see what we can
see what we can get there. Jada continues on his happy way here at the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit, as he has done previously in Formula Ford. Great contender there in the Formula Fords, and now progressing into Formula 4, and the world is his oyster. As far as we can see at this point in time, pushing on hard. He's going to bring a massive points haul. At this point in time, still 7 laps remaining, and off goes car number 12.
Josh Smith.
That was a big off on the exit of turn 2. He's gathered it all up. Thank goodness for that gravel trap. Thank goodness for all of the safety features here at the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit. We all talk about the fast and flowing aspect of it. It is fast. And part of being fast becomes a little bit of a level of apprehension, of danger, but they've thought of a lot of it here at the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit with hard stands off the back of the corners, gravel traps. I mean, the gravel trap from turn 3 all the way to turn 4 is almost like a beach. And I know Wayne Gardner in the Coke Commodore would have liked to have seen that beach years ago. There used to be a wall there, and he had a big to-do with that wall, but now it's like the Cows Beach, parked off to the driver's right down into turn 4.
Here's the battle between those two Team BRM drivers, and it was Zaid Tones who stayed on the track, but Josh Smith unfortunately taking the wide berth and finding himself through the gravel trap.
It is interesting here at Phillip Island with all the developments and all the adventures and activities that go on at this track right throughout the year, and plenty of racing. The Island Magic at the end of November. There's the 6-hour production cars the first week of November. The Nationals have been coming here for over 12 years now, so plenty of racing steeped in history, not only four, but at two wheels as well, with all these fantastic MotoGP races we've had here over the years.
Just going through the memory bank, and we saw that GT3 Cup Challenge car at the top of turn 12 just go off around the bend. I can't remember who it was, but was it Craig Lowndes who did a similar thing a few years ago in supercars and actually took out a couple of the foam signs as he went down on the grass?
Lounsey's had a bad shunt over at Hayshed, I know that, and Greg Murphy's had one up the top with and so did Seaton, but I can't remember the one that you're referring to there. But we've got a ripping race on our hands now with the number 78 of Love and Hughes ganging up on each other here, if that's possible to gang up on each other. They probably should be working together to get up on the back of walls and gang up on him. But this is a ripping run as we look back to the Morris Finance leaderboard again. It's Lockie Hughes in 5th place, Zaid Tones in 6th, Thomas Smith in 7th, and Artie Jodick in 8th. Then it's Antonio Astuti and Josh Smith, and Cam Shields unfortunately taking the starter's orders but not getting any further than just down past the Australia-Melbourne Bridge in the main straight here.
So Jaden Ojeda in only his second F4 race, started down in Tassie a few weeks ago in round 1 and showed a lot of promise there until he had a wiring loom situation where effectively the wiring loom pretty much melted itself, and it's something that hasn't appeared before in a Formula 4 car. So it's being looked at the moment and investigated as to why that did happen. But it wrecked his second race, there's no doubt about that. The boys were able to repair and get everything right and going for him in race 3, but he showed plenty of pace down there and has been doing exactly the same up here at Phillip Island this weekend. 2 race wins so far for Jaden Ojeda, and with 5 laps remaining, he's 2 seconds ahead of Ryan Sewell. Jackson Walls in 3rd place, driving really well, as Aaron Love just overtakes him now for that position. So that battle will continue for the next 5 or so laps, I'm sure.
8 laps completed, and the 12-lap journey. Big under brakes here is the number 39, Antonio Astuti. Behind him, Artie Jonick. A couple of guys battling it out to just keep themselves in contention. Short amount of points on the board for both these guys. 14 for Astuti, 5 for Jonick here this round. A massive haul for Jaden Ojeda, who is out in front of this race by 2.3 seconds now. These two contending for 8th and 9th on the road. Out over the painted lines there for Jonick, trying to decrease the amount of real estate he has to cover around this magnificent Grand Prix circuit. Very, very wide across the top of the hill for Astuti. Kind of reminiscent of a go-kart, which is where he spent a lot of time developing his craft. And across the line they go, and that brings us down to 3 laps remaining.
I'll tell you what, the championship for the Cam's Pace Australian Formula 4 championship leader is going to be amazing at the end of this race. We'll see Jaden Ojeda pick up 75 points should he remain in the lead. That'll take him to 102 points on the championship table. Ryan Sewell will add 42 points to his 61. He'll go to 103 points. And Cameron Shields had 68. He will add 36. He will go to 104 points. There'll be 1 point between Shields and Sewell and 1 point between Sewell and Ojeda going into round 3 in Queensland the 3rd week of July. What an amazing situation this championship is at the moment.
Certainly a good place to be in any championship, having 3 contenders there. And it doesn't matter which ones they are, as long as you've got some contenders and they're very, very close to each other. Talking about close to each other, the 39 and the 50, they're having some sort of relationship out there at the moment. Astuti and Jonick glued together.
Was it like my first marriage relationship?
I wouldn't have a clue, Tone.
Not nice.
Jaden Ojeda, though, is doing it very nicely indeed, just easing away from the field here. He's got the fastest lap of the race with a 134.621, as we have a lot of focus on the race for 8th and 9th at the moment. Plunging down into MG.
It's a good little battle between Astuti and Jonick. Of course, Artie Jonick, we mentioned earlier, first time he's raced this weekend on bitumen. He's a speedway racer, so he's really had to get his head around not only just racing on bitumen, but racing around this fantastic track, hitting 200 odd Ks down the bottom into turn 1. just so many things go through his head, I'm sure, this weekend.
Yeah, certainly these guys work very, very close on the setup of the car. There's not super amount of adjustments. There's a small bit of aero. Certainly tyre pressures is where that adjustment is. A lock up there for Sewell. So he's trying. He is definitely trying. He hasn't thrown it all away just yet. It's just that Ojeda has got the game on a string. He's done a lot of laps here, Jaden Ojeda. He's a very, very short motorsport career, and you get the feeling he's going to do quite a few more here in the not too distant future. Here we go now, a move, the 39 and the 50 now side by side. Jonick still not being able to get through on a Studi, but they're now being joined by Smith, who's weighing in on that as well.
Yep, that's Josh Smith in the number 12 car, Team BRM car, at the back of that pack of 3. Good little battle happening here. Back in the field, 8th, 9th and 10th. A Studi in front, Jonick behind. Josh Smith trying to find a way through. Just have to bide his time a little right here. Top of Lukey. Will he get him around through MG? No, he won't. Not close enough. And some good, clean racing from these 3 guys.
They'll come around to complete lap number 10. Actually saying final lap here, 1 to go. And now, if anyone's got an advantage, here we go. Now we start to see the battle transpire. It's going to go 3 wide down into turn 1. Going into, it was a Studi Jonick Smith as they come out.
Smith actually got the better of it.
He has.
Got the slingshot right out through there, didn't he?
Got through on both of them, in fact.
How did that happen?
Great move. They got the aero tunnel down the straight, 3 wide. There was a lot of buffeting around there too. There's not a lot of buffeting and wind. In fact, there's no wind here at the track at all. So they were running in their own disturbed air. And the number 12 is pushed through. So Jonick and a Studi gets back through there. A little bit of a lock up on the left-hand rear and a couple of real dips at the wheel. So the Hancock's really getting a thrashing underneath the Studi, but he gets back that spot. Jonick just got through to him, quarter of a lap later, relegated back 1 spot. So this is a big fight, and we're focusing on it. It's 8th, 9th and 10th for the race, and our race leader is coming around to get the checkered flag. There it is, Jaden Ojeda. Ladies and gentlemen, the CAMS Pace Australian Formula 4 Championship, race number 3, taken by the same guy that took race number 1 and 2 for the weekend. Congratulations to Jaden Ojeda on that victory here this weekend, and of course the team down at AGI Sport.
Ryan Sewell bringing it home for second. Aaron Love in third. A great drive by Jackson Walls for Patrizzi course up into 4th place. I'll get a lot of confidence from that race today. Lockie Hughes 5th, Side Tones in 6th place. It's been a great battle between those 2 all weekend. They're leading the Burson Rookie of the Year points table at the moment. Those 2, the 2 Smith boys, they're in 7th and 8th place. Of course, Thomas Smith and Josh Smith, and then Antonio Studi, Artie Jonick and Cameron Shields, unfortunately a DNF in race 3 in this one. What a good little battle again, and what a great drive by Jaden Ojeda right throughout the weekend. Was able to work his way back from difficult positions in the first 2 races, where he got back to 5th in both those races, and then was able to get himself up into the lead. This one was pretty much straight from the front. Jaden Ojeda taking the win ahead of Ryan Sewell, Aaron Love, Jackson Walls, Lockie Hughes. Our top 5, Zaid Tones, Thomas Smith, Josh Smith, Antonio Studi and Artie Jonick making up our top 10.
Fastest lap by Jaden Ojeda, a 1:34.621, and he was the only one managing to get down into the 34s, half a second faster than anyone else out there in the field was Jaden Ojeda in that final race. There was the jump. He got away nicely. Unfortunately, Cam Shields didn't take any further part than that's part of the race, and he was away off to the driver's left and parked up.
Well, Jaden Ojeda had that early lead. We see Cameron Sewell now, Cameron Shields taking the car to the left of the straight and taking that out of the race. Ryan Sewell did get the lead back for a few laps over Ojeda.
Ojeda wasn't backwards and throwing it around, was he? Sliding right around across the top of Lukey Heights. Got to be careful with that. It will loop around on you, particularly on cold tyres. This was the move that ultimately proved the brave one out of these two, and I tell you what, it was didn't take anything away from either of them on the brave stakes. It was just that big hold on by Jaden Ojeda around the outside. A couple of Team BRM cars in their resplendent blue livery, and off went car number 12, which was Josh Smith. Ultimately, he ended up in 10th in that race, so was battling it out further up the field, but that certainly put him back down a couple of spots as we see those cars going through. And that was the battle between those two guys, Astudi and Smith there as well.
Yep, and also Artie Jonick in that battle as well, the number 50, trying to get up the outside, the inside, and then the outside. As they go through Siberia, there was Astudi who was able to hold his nerve and keep that line. And then a great effort here down the straight. Saw the Team BRM driver in Smith just get the slingshot past the two of them and move his way up the field as well. So it's going to be an interesting championship from here on in, with only a point separating 1 and 2 and a point separating second and third. Let's head down to pit lane in Greg Rust.
Well, the top three are emerging here at the end of a brilliant round of the championship. Firstly, why don't we talk to Ryan Sewell, who I think has ended up third for the weekend. Congratulations. And it's pretty close in this series now, heading into the next round at Queensland. Must feel pretty cool to walk away from the island with that one.
Yeah, it was pretty close coming away from Tassie. Me and Shields were pretty close there, but Ojeda's definitely stepped up. I didn't have anything for him in that race, so he's definitely a real championship contender this year as well. So we've really got a bit of a four-way battle going on. It's exciting.
Good on you. Enjoy it. We'll let you get to the podium. We're going to sneak across and talk to Jaden Ojeda, winner of the round. How does that feel?
Yeah, that was amazing. Can't thank the boys enough. They gave me an awesome car all weekend. I'm just happy I was able to provide the goods for them. Yeah, had a bit of a rough start. I still managed to come out of, I got in a second, but then the car wasn't feeling amazing, but then just kept getting better and better the more laps I did. So just kept on pushing and kept on building a gap, and it was just a really good weekend, and I can't be more happy.
Yeah, you should be happy too. We're under time pressure here, so why don't we wander through to the podium? We've got to take all three for the round to the podium because Cameron is standing by for that. But why don't you and I keep talking about what that means to you and how, I guess, important that is going into the next round of the series?
Yeah, obviously, this weekend was my second round in Formula 4. So to be able to get my first win, first pole, and then obviously first clean sweep, it's an amazing experience, and just shows all the work that we do behind the scenes as well as at the racetrack. It really pays off. And yeah, I just can't be more stoked with how this weekend's turned out.
And plan of attack from here for the remaining rounds?
Hopefully we can build on this form and keep it up for Queensland when we go back there with the V8s. But we'll just see. We'll go back, have another think about it, and hopefully come back the same way we just did.
Go to that podium and enjoy. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Our Burson Auto Parts Rookie of the Round is Lockie Hughes of Team BRM. In third place from AGI Sport, Ryan Sewell. In second place from Team BRM, Aaron Love. And your winner for round two of the championship from AGI Sport, Jaden Ojeda. Presenting the trophies for today's winners is Bertram DaCosta from Miguel. Congratulations to our Cams Pace Australian Formula 4 Championship podium. Gentlemen, the podium is yours.